April 30th, 2018 Management Services Committee to order. You got the roll. Motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Is there a second? Second. Are there any public comments? Oh. All in favor of approving the agenda? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Okay. Public comments. Seeing none. Open and take action on courthouse parking lot bid. We have one. And maybe I should let you look at this and explain it to us. And this is in a format that you're used to seeing. It is not in the format we're used to seeing here.
And that's based on Joel's recommendation?
Yes, there was one minor change.
Yeah, the process I wanted to use a fiber mat interlayer, and after talking to the company that does that, their equipment's too big for that small parking lot. Their train is 50 feet long, just one piece of equipment, so they couldn't do what I wanted. Turn around. Right. So, but they did have. I didn't want to use they've got a area reflective crack control treatment, which is what that needs. But the standard material they have is like it's a fabric, an oil impregnated fabric. Well, that causes problems if you ever catch it. It'll tear. It doesn't tear. It'll actually lift the asphalt. But they now make one that's made out of asphalt and oil that you can actually cut through. You can dig through the backhoe and not peel up a bunch of your asphalt. So we changed that requirement from the fiber mat to a fiber area reflective crack control. So let's see which one. Their total bid $92,603.70. Now that does the complete parking lot.
92.6,
Joel. Yeah, 92. 603.70. It basically does all of this. We stopped, and it'll do all this drive up to here. We'll do from here to here. The only thing we're not going to do is this section here. We're going to stay on the back side of the pipe because there's a 2-foot diameter metal pipe that really needs to be replaced. And I don't know, that's on city property, so I didn't want to get into that on this. So that could always be picked up when you do the rest of it. But that'll basically do all this and all this parking area there. So
that's the south side, right?
Yeah. So, and IPC. So I'm not surprised that they're the only bidder, since any smaller companies are going to have to buy their asphalt from somebody, so they go to IPC. So I'm sure if they're interested in it, they're going to keep their asphalt prices high enough to keep the work for themselves. So
As far as the specs, as far as you...
they know we deal with it, and they know enough that all the asphalt types that we've got in there.
I think I want
Iroquois paving.
Okay, I figured as much, but.
That's cool, says cool. What's your opinion of, oil and chip that side? Is it gonna be cheaper?
Cheaper, yes. You probably still need to do some milling in some areas because there's a few of those areas, especially the parking where it's humped up so bad in the middle that you're gonna have some drainage. You're still gonna have ponding water, which is gonna, even though the chip's gonna continue to cause you problems, so. You know,
Oil and chip, you get into people complaining about dragging
rock
oil
and that,
in.
yeah. I mean,
But I mean, just the south end of it. Not the drive, not the front drive.
Just the
You'd have to
parking.
do the front, just the parking lot. How much traffic's really gets parked on that side?
Depends on if there's jury or not.
Yeah, I've seen it full, most days probably dozen cars on a normal day, but yeah, grand jury gets full or anytime there's drama going on, it's full. But, so, if you don't need anything else from me, I've got a FHWA coming about bridges.
Anybody?
Meeting with them in Indiana.
Okay. Thank you for your help.
No problem, no problem.
All right. Any further discussion? Otherwise, we entertain a motion.
I'll move to accept bid 92607 or
60370.
Do we have this much in the budget?
Yes, this does come in under budget.
About 6,000 under budget.
Yeah.
Do that. Have to do anything new curb?
Joel?
I guess I should have thought of that before Joel left, but.
Joel went over, his guys looked it over, and they made up the bid
Joel
package
made up
for
the
us.
So the curb, if there's anything on there, it's probably in
Yes.
there.
Yeah, Joel went, just like you would do a road,
Yeah.
and made up a complete IDOT packet with all the specs and.
He's the expert, so I went to him to help.
Yeah.
Yeah, he went and looked at what was needed and what had to be done.
We have a motion, did we get a second?
Not yet.
We'll discuss it before we get a second. Lot of money. But we're 6,000 under.
Yeah, we're 6,000 under what was put in the budget.
Right. And
But
that-
second was technically discussed, but.
yeah.
Well, second. So, now we can discuss.
Yeah. Is there any further questions or?
Have we got anything budgeted for the other side?
Not this year, no. That side was the immediate need. When's the resurfacing or the recoating? That was last year. That was last year on the other side, yes. So we're good for a year or two there yet.
6,000 now to help offset the snow stop.
And if you look at the diagram, it does go into the entryway of the other one. Which is where, at that entry point is where they were starting to have some issues with potholes and stuff, so I believe that's going to get in and take care of those potholes.
Okay, they are putting gutter in there, because it says combination curb and gutter removal, so they're gonna put a new one in.
Yeah, and then it goes all the way to the front and kind of helps that increase. It does more than what we initially, when you went and looked at it. It's just a matter of if we want to spend the money on it, I mean, it needs it, and it's in the actual budget.
Yeah,
And if it was budgeted for 100,
Joel did, as a part of it, he did as much with that money as he could when he figured it, So when we do that front parking lot, it should be considerably less, because you don't have as big a parking lot, you don't have all the streets and entryways.
Taking out 2 and putting 2 in. We're taking out 2 inches and putting 2 inches in.
Yeah, the top is so stuff. Like those.
Somebody else want to look at this?
If there's no other questions or discussion, take a vote.
Alt?
Yes.
Coleman?
Yes.
Johnson? Yes. McGinnis?
Yes.
Awful? Yes. Aaron's?
Yes. Okay. We're going to move on to continued discussion on building efficiencies. I believe that would be you.
Okay, so here, I'll just pass these along. I'm not sure if I have enough copies for
Let's see. You're with...
Microgrid Energy.
Okay, no,
I was gonna
I'm
say
sorry,
building-
you're not yet.
State's just teasing.
It's efficiency that I'm building.
It can help us down the road, but yeah.
Okay. Well, I thought somebody was maybe going to be here for that.
I thought so as well, but
Okay. Well, I guess if they aren't here, then we will just move to the next thing. Maintenance supervisory report.
I got in contact with Frio Asphalt from Subject Parking Lots. The admin building here is due every 3 years. It's on a schedule to be oiled and striped again, and so I made them aware that it's in the budget this year to do this. We did those lots last year. And it'll be something later in the summer. It's not going to be anytime soon, but I just wanted to, get on the same page.
Do we know what dollar amount that is?
There's
Is that-
20 budgeted, and I believe it's either 20 or 25, I don't have my thing with me, or maybe I do. But at any rate, they said that that would be enough to,
My question is that under the amount for needing to put it for bids?
Yeah.
It is,
Mhm.
okay. Just want to make sure.
all right. Over here at the admin building, there was a gas leak. I had to call NICOR a couple weeks ago, right out here, the meter. You could smell gas pretty bad, and I called them, and they showed up immediately, and there was a couple pretty substantial leaks. They were all on their side though, so they immediately fixed those and took care of it. There was nothing on our side to have to worry about. Let's see what else. The cooling tower over here, I spent a couple of the warmer days we had in the past couple weeks cleaning it up. Birds like to hang out on top of that thing over the course of the winter because it puts out some heat because of the glycol loop. It just gets decimated with bird droppings and feathers and things like that. And so I took it apart what I could and cleaned it up and actually filled it up and ran it. Make sure everything seems like it's going to be good to go. Actually, this afternoon I think I'm going to get it up and running with 70 today and then a couple days at 80. People are going to be kicking on their air conditioners, and we want that to be up and running, so that'll be an afternoon project today, I'm pretty sure, unless something else comes up. There was an electric issue in health department, a small issue. There are cubicles in there. The way they're set up, they're all wired together. It's like a built-in sort of outlet system on those cubicles they have, and then it's hardwired in the wall. And there's a whole bank of those that were out, and I was testing them, and it kept telling me I had an open neutral. Troubleshot, called in B&D, showed up. Long story short, it was a breaker problem in the breaker box, so we put a breaker in and it took care of the issue. Halls showed up, mowing got underway. They were here a couple days picking up limbs and doing a preliminary cleanup. And then they actually mowed, and then they came the next day and did weed eating. And so that got underway. We don't have the sheets we normally do, obviously because Nita's not here, but I was going to tell you to look one of the larger claims this month. Since you do have that. There's a project that's getting underway in the jail. I ordered from Belson's 23 sheets of expanded steel. There's the jail bars, and on the lower half of the jail, there's expanded steel all the way around. It's been welded on years ago. Keep inmates from reaching through at each other, at correctional officers, messing with the windows. Well, the upstairs of the jail's never had this done. And I guess it's been in the works for years and just never, budget-wise, whatever. But there was a couple incidents here in the past couple of months that final straw type incidents where the sheriff's like, yeah, let's get this done now. So we're going to have that welded up here in the next month. I myself do not weld, so I'm going to find someone. I have someone in mind already. So that's what all that expanded steel is for, in case you guys were wondering. A couple issues in the jail kitchen that I took care of myself with the commercial freezer and something with the disposal. I purchased all filters, almost 50 of them, for courthouse and the jail. They get swapped out twice a year. I usually do it in the spring and in the fall. I have those, and I'm going to start doing that here this week. B&D also, when they were here, I had them, those couple parking lot lights that were out. And I had them swap those out for me. And when I'm doing that, I'm having them put LEDs in instead of the old style. And other than that, guys, it's pretty much everything worth telling you. A bunch of routine maintenance other than that, unless you guys have any questions for me about stuff.
No questions? Thank you, Chris. Update on office space. Veterans has got a tentative estimate. They don't think they'll have to do any electrical. Their contractor's on vacation right now, so but they are wanting to go move along as soon as we can. Chad, did you come up with anything on?
No, I knew they have it, but I know we told them to come and present.
Well, I talked to them before the
Yeah.
meeting, that's where I was at.
Yeah, so they're, I mean, you probably need to wait to get their contractor to tell us exactly.
Well,
I don't know.
she said they've got $5,000 set aside for it, and that they are pretty sure that that will cover everything.
Yeah.
So I mean, they gotta get final from him, but they're ready to, as soon as we get everything. Did you talk to some others about other movements or anything?
No, I was just waiting on her to come with her contractor to tell us exactly what she's gonna do.
Okay. Well, I think she said the front area, they were gonna wall off 15 foot, and so it'd give a 15 by 15 foot area for a meeting room up there. And they were going to put a window in this area and a door here, so that they could see because when it's not being used for a meeting, that's probably going to be their waiting area. So then their people would be able to see. So that's the door here. She said would not have the transom above it, which is a big deal. got questions or any ideas on,
Where's the health department gonna go?
well, that we're still working on?
I think we should all do it about the same time.
Well, hopefully we can get something figured out shortly.
You still available for a tour today?
Am I? Yeah. Oh, I forgot to mention that to Chris. If you can hang around after.
Sure.
Okay. So we don't have anything. Okay. And I guess we'll move on to county farm management issues. I don't have.
But she'll have the plan when the contractor gets back.
Yeah, they have
she needed.
sketched on paper, just by
That's
hand,
fine. Yeah.
which looked about like that.
Yeah.
You know,
That was the deal.
Yeah, I think we need to see a formalized copy of it.
Yeah.
Since it's the building, I mean, you know,
yeah,
that way we're 100% sure what's going on with this.
but they said the light switch as you walk in, puts lights for everything, and they were fine with that. The only, it does everything but the back office, and so that works for them. The only thing that they said they'd have to get internet to there, which I'm not sure
That's,
how hard that, you know, there might even be internet to that office.
that's not.
Okay. County farm management issues. The only thing that I have at this point is discuss solar options.
What?
Discuss solar options. So now you're up.
Okay. Alright, so I'll just pass some of this out. I don't think I can print off enough copies for everyone, but, that's one document. No.
I already got it, Johnny.
These are the three things I would talk about site design. This is kind of important if you guys want to share. I'm just going to leave you with a copy of at least two. There's just some financial information. So I guess the first thing is just kind of the reasoning behind this is the future Illinois Future Energy Jobs Act was passed. So Ameren and ComEd, there's a standard now to go 25% renewable by 2025. So they're the real driving force behind this. What happens is we end up, if we have a project, we sign a lease with Ameren so that they're getting our energy from this solar farm for 15 to 20 years. They'll actually, have options to renew that too. But so right now what we're just doing is we're looking around as kind of the land acquisition stage. So I'm actually going to Sheldon next. I've been driving around for a couple months now, just talking to landowners who's interested in this. Because the criteria is, obviously, we want about 15 to 30 acres, so we're looking for large flat land that's close to a substation and that's got three-phase power and road access, which I drove around earlier, and you guys do have that, obviously, right around, looks like there's three-phase around the jail, and then right on this border of your property. This would be this way, or that way, which is great, so we can tie into one of those lines. And if you look on, there's two options I really was thinking about. We could work around the trees here and just do 20 acres, which would get us 2 megawatts of energy right here in the box, or we could go rectangular and get 30 acres right here. We can make it work in an L design, but we like these better because what happens is we'll just line these with solar panels. In the middle will be like a little 10 by 10 concrete pad that's got cabinets, computers, and that's where all these panels will tie into that. And then from there will be 1 or 2 large lines underneath ground that tie into the three-phase power lines. So that's kind of why we like box shapes the best. These will all be fenced in. The panels are about 6 feet off the ground and they rotate, follow the sun on trackers. And this will be a 6-foot chain link fence around it with just like a little gate that has a compound code that only us and Ameren would have access to, just for security. But so that's why we got, we're looking at this site. Project timeline, we're looking at, right now is the lease, so step one would be to see if you guys are interested with, and we need a signed lease to show land control. From there, we use that to apply for an interconnection study with Ameren, or ComEd, whoever the utility is. So they won't really give us a time of day for an interconnection study, which is just them running their network to see, okay, where can this substation handle the load? it's not working, we offset it, and just kind of, it takes them a couple months to run that. So this is all during the development period. So if we were to sign a lease, we would be doing our interconnection study right away because we want to get into a queue. They're going to judge the projects based on location, landowner, subscribers who, close to population. So Ameren's going to basically judge which ones they want to take. So it's kind of a rush now to get in. Obviously, don't sign a lease right now, we'll talk about it, but so the lease, then we'll do our interconnection study, get our building permits, zoning, entitlements, all those approvals. This is county, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'd be working with you guys, which is a good relationship to have as a landowner. And then we do some environmental testing, which, I'm not expecting anything because it's, farmland right here. And so basically after all that, once we get the building permit, I pass an interconnection study, our environmental due diligence checks out, we're ready for construction basically at that point. So I'm projecting right now summer 2019 or summer 2020. Construction takes about 2 months. And then once that's constructed, it's called COD in the lease and it's generating electricity, that triggers your operations rent. Up until then, it's just $1,500 a year, but we don't tie up the land. We just need the lease to show Ameren because they won't give us, again, the time of day for them to do their network analysis. But you can still farm this, this season. We'll coordinate with you, be like, hey, we got a building permit, we're still waiting on the interconnection study, keep you in the loop of when we expect construction to start. And then obviously then it would switch over to, you can't farm it after that, it's going to be solar.
Do we have when the farm lease is done?
We just did it for a year last year.
Right.
So we
So
got.
this is his first year.
So
he's got 2 more years.
20.
Right. And obviously the rest of that he can still farm, it would just be a portion.
Well, but
And
we just have to make sure that they're okay with.
Yeah, they said that they would work with us on it, so,
okay.
to carve out that piece.
Right, and which is why, like, when I meet with, like, larger farmland, we just need proximity to the power lines and the road, so we're flexible in design. But I was just noticing those two options. I mean, I guess we could try, I don't know if that's wetlands or anything by those trees, we could clear those. But I'd rather not clear trees. So it's up to you, I mean, whatever option you guys like best, or if you have another option.
This is in the trees, then?
What is that?
No,
No, the blue is...
No, the blue or the,
way
yeah.
outside.
So you're looking at one of the two spots?
One of the two spots. So we used to be capped at 20 acres, just revised the program to allow co-ops and to increase the size to 30 acres. So, this would be larger. I'm thinking you might like this because one, it's away from residents, which there is no real health issues with it. It's just a visual thing. I used to do the same thing for cell towers, and those are, you need setbacks because they fall down. There's more emissions from the antennas. Yeah, so I mean, either option's good. I'm thinking you guys might like this better because when it's larger, that's more rent, it's more money, more energy, further away.
Worthless. Farm ground.
Oh yeah, and then
This
farm.
is the worthless
Yeah.
piece.
Exactly.
This here.
So yeah, so that's another thing too. I mean, you
Curve
got to
is
look at what you
would be
get
a-
profit from farming too.
Yeah.
Well,
I would
we
rather
cash rent.
do this than that, but
And then in terms of the
That's
lease too, I mean,
20
this is
acres,
obviously,
30
we're open for negotiation, terms, rent, it all fluctuates. We just started 800, that's based on without missing the site, so sometimes you gotta extend three-phase, which lowers the rent because it costs more money for that. Proximity to substation, we have some sites that are right across from the substation because it takes time and money to run that energy. So that increases their rent if they have like an ideal site. But that's why we're starting at 800, so that's, 800 an acre per year, escalates 1.5%. If you flip the page, I show you a little bit of your rent breakdown. And again, this is zero maintenance, this is just kind of sitting there generating energy and electric and, money for you, so.
1.9%, yeah, year one.
Okay, now it's
You need the
flat. No, there was only 3 copies.
Sorry.
Here's another one,
I can share with Charlie, that's fine.
We get what?
So it's flat rate, or do we get, if it's generating power, do we get a percentage of that like they do at the windmills?
Well, what we do is there's a subscription, and it's towards the back of this PowerPoint. You can subscribe to this and get cheaper electricity per kilowatt hour. So that's what we do. Once we know we have a project, we have a subscription team. Now with Ameren and ComEd, they get enough customers, they can supply this to residents and all that. But we're looking like maybe the local high school might want to subscribe to this if they use, is this Ameren?
Yes.
It is?
Ameren.
Perfect, okay. So if they do that, if you guys get Ameren gear, you guys can subscribe to it, so. Yeah. It's not like profit sharing, if that's your question, in terms of like how much energy is produced. You just get your rent checks, and if you want to subscribe to it, you get cheaper electricity too. A couple cents per kilowatt hour, it's, you know, subsidized. So this is why you see all the wind turbines. That was a couple years ago. Now this is the push for solar, because they're about like 12-15% renewable, so they need solar to get them to that 25 mandate. So you don't see many of them now, but you will be seeing them next to substations. Wind can be out in the more rural than that, but
So it needs to be near a substation,
we like to
preferably by a population center, because it doesn't have the push that...
right. I mean, we can go in the rural areas. All we really are concerned about is being within a mile is kind of our cutoff. Outside we can do that, but then again, rent goes down because it's just further away from the substation. Our main thing is being right next to a power line, because those are expensive to replace. Yeah, you have one over there and then there.
And then in the corner.
So you guys meet our criteria, which is why I'm here. But, and then I also, one of the other documents shows we do like native flowers. They're low growing, but they're underneath the panels. So that's just good for soil turnover while it's just sitting for like 30 whatever years. But also it looks better, it's just, you know, playing along that sustainability,
And the
environmental.
Illinois Senate passed the bill to the House. There's some incentives to encourage native wildflower
Yeah.
stuff. But it's at the House right now.
Now, have you gotten a copy of our solar ordinance?
We've looked at it. Liz in our office, she's on the policy team. So yeah, I'm not as familiar with it, but
Okay, just want to make sure that you know what our requirements are right now. And
yeah, we just go into county to county that some have like, they're just like putting it on, like Whiteside County actually limits it to like 5 acres, so we can't get enough money for that. It's not in the finances. So we're just going to counties that have at least an ordinance or something for solar. Some are banning it, some are, you know. But yeah, obviously when we go through that process, we got to comply with all those setbacks, regulations, whatever it is.
do you have the contract that we can send to the state's attorney?
I forwarded it to him.
Yeah, I printed out
No
a draft
response.
too.
Okay, well,
Yeah, no response from Jim yet on it, but I did send it to him, ask him to look at
And
it.
now that's another thing too, because I mentioned that queue. It's getting almost saturated right now. I mean, we're not quite there, so a little bit of a rush here in terms of lease, but obviously not trying to force you to sign anything. But I'm just saying we would like to get this going as soon as possible for you, if you're interested.
That's guaranteed money for 30 years.
That is, yeah. Because of the initial lease is for 20.
Yeah, and then you can option to renew.
Yeah. And again, that's because we enter into a contract. Once this is paid for and constructed, there's no maintenance unless there's a tornado or something that comes and destroys it, or something happens to the substation. It's constantly generating electricity and rent, so it's financially, the model makes sense to not, you know, pay all this money and then tear it down, which is why you rarely see the wind turbines like being torn down too. Those just, it's kind of the same model.
okay, well, anybody got any other questions while we got them here? I'll see if Mr. Devine's had any opportunity to look at it.
Yeah, he didn't respond back, but I did forward and ask him to find concerns so that we can, I mean, I'm for this because we'll just use A, it's already did number 30 acres, right now we get 200, that's $6,000 a year versus 24, and that can help with some of our budget shortfalls and with the telecommunicator stuff.
And this is the county property. Do you guys have other properties?
Yep, 400 acres.
Yeah. Because we can do leases with the same landowner on multiple different properties. There's just co-location, so we can't do both of these. Well, hold on. Yeah, because it's the same parcel. So we could technically do one parcel that you own, skip a parcel to another parcel. So if you have a property elsewhere, if I can get addresses or something, just to see if it's near a substation or power line.
Fairly,
Across from the highway
yeah, I mean,
department.
it's all
On Route
pretty
1.
close.
Okay.
Yeah,
Um,
different parcels, but it's all one.
do you know if there's like power lines close to
Route
that?
1, highway department.
Yeah, that's
There's something I can't tell you.
You'd just be a mile south and on Route 1.
Is that heading this way? Like,
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, I'm going there after this. to
So
show
if you went around this curve, right out here where you had the one on the bottom,
Yeah,
and
okay,
followed that out to the Route 1,
okay,
and you turned to the right, you'd be heading south,
yep,
and about when you hit John Deere,
okay,
we have both sides of, all four corners of that next road, whatever road that is.
okay. Well, after this, I'll check that out and take some more
And
photos.
then we go,
And we can go to the assessor's office and he can actually give you parcels and everything.
Oh, okay. Oh. Yeah, as long as I can find it, we have parcel data on Google Earth and everything that I can overlay. I just need to get an address or something that I can go find it. It's right by the John Deere, so if I just type that in.
oh, it's right, and the
Yeah.
county building's right next to John Deere, so that's where we start.
Okay,
Iroquois County Highway's right there.
Right, 'cause
But
if
we
it-
own on both sides of the road, and then on the south,
mhm.
across the intersection too. So
Because if you're interested in this, we could do that over there too, as long as it works out for our power needs, so.
It doesn't have park place.
Right.
So Highway 1, the highway department is right there.
Okay.
And
Don't
I'm
went
gonna
down
on that side.
I just zoom out.
Yeah, zoom out.
Don't home, right?
Oh, whoa, okay,
There
never
you go,
mind,
we
yeah,
are
that's right
right
there.
now.
I actually drove by there and I drove around, perfect, that's
Some,
just south.
one time company was interested in either side of this.
Okay,
Because I don't know if they're buying it that way or if they're buying off of this line.
so I'm assuming these are the different parcels, so what we could do, I don't know if we're allowed because it's across the road, I think it's still viewed as one, but we could get one other project out of here, so we could get another 30 acres if you guys
Yeah,
want.
yeah, you can look at it.
Yeah,
And you'll see John Deere's right there.
Yeah.
on the highway, so
cool, alright,
Nothing to do.
I love this new thing.
Yeah, that's that,
This, well, this is my hunt app.
yeah, I got
But,
hunt too.
yeah, but all the parcel numbers,
Actually, if you ping on these outlines.
here's that draft
Yeah.
list too, I'll just leave that. But yeah, Amanda, you got everything, right? Okay. And yeah, if there's other questions, I can leave you my card, but we've been in contact, so that's my cell and my email, so just, we'll stay in the loop. Because like I said, there is a bit of a time crunch here,
yeah, ever since our
just because
GIS
there's a
system
certain
got
window
published.
for all these before the market
Now
gets
it's all
saturated.
on
But, yeah.
And you say, I mean, are we talking 2 months or 6 months or?
Well, in terms of like when we would like, my manager actually sent like mid-May, like, is an incentive to like get a lease signed by then. We might like, yeah, like
I don't know if Jim
a
will look
signing
at
bonus
that.
or something,
Yes,
but,
I really doubt that we'd be able to get anything done by mid-May, and
Okay.
that's 2 weeks.
right. I mean, we could still, end of May, like, maybe month and a half, we still have a good chance of getting in if we get this lease and start an interconnection study. Because we start spending money on building permits and the due diligence, we don't want to do that before we don't even have a
Second
project.
Tuesday in June would be the earliest,
I would think.
because
Okay.
we have to get, because the second Tuesday in June is when the full board meets. So,
And that's when you guys would all vote and,
yeah,
okay.
because we would need to get Jim to, let's say you had that lease, and, do some more looking, and I didn't read everything, but the more numbers or the more specific the lease is for Jim, that helps.
Okay. So by then, is that when, can we have attorneys go back and forth with red lines, so that if we get to that time,
If
we
you
have
have
a
an
lease ready to
attorney
go?
that, forward that info, we can connect them with Jim.
Okay.
Or have them call Jim Devine
Gotcha.
at the state's attorney, and that will spur the discussion.
Right, because I would like to have, so that way, if you guys, on the second Tuesday in June, like, all right, we all agree,
Yeah.
then we actually have a lease that we agree on
Yeah.
too, instead of spending more time.
Jim's, I got it. I can give you Jim's office number.
Okay,
And then have your attorney just call him direct, and that
Right.
will speed things up.
yeah,
So say we would sign the lease in June,
okay.
when would our first payment?
You would get the 1,500 prorated for that remainder of the year, for this year. Then next year, you'd get the 1,500 up front. And then whenever we can get construction started, we wanted to start, Amber needs these like yesterday, so we're trying to move as fast as possible. So whenever we get our building permit, however long that takes, going through the county, getting all the entitlements, and the interconnection study is what takes a couple months there. Some of them are taking 6 months because Amber's just kind of getting a lot of these right now. But once we get those, we have our contractors lined up, we're ready to go.
So I guess I'm talking about the farm ground that he's farming now.
Right.
So would he be able to harvest that this year?
Yeah, this year, 100%.
Okay.
Next year, most likely too. We can insert actually like crop reimbursement damage, so if we were to come in and like destroy 20 acres, you know, percentage of the harvest he would have got, we'll pay that. But, yeah, so we, right. We try to work on shoulder seasons, but as soon as we get all of our approvals, there's no reason for us to wait, because, you know, we get a developer's fee, you guys get your rent fee, Amber gets the energy, everyone wins, so there's no reason to slow this now.
He's in beans this year, so it should come out early. That'd be good for you.
Right, and then if you could give me the,
2020 would be.
we can coordinate directly with the whoever farms this too, so that we can let him know, hey, don't spend this much money on seed for this part of the land, because we're planning on construction.
We'll get a hold of them,
Oh, okay, yeah,
Yeah, we-
because, right,
We gotta work all that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because we gotta be in the loop on that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, and state's attorney will have to, because we might technically be breaking the lease by doing it, so we wanna make sure we do it right.
right. I've signed a lease in Fulton where they actually had it in CRP, and what we do with them is we actually sign a lease for they're doing 30 acres, the whole 80 acres in the CRP, but once we sign a lease, we work with them to take a portion out of the CRP. So I understand your issue, but we just need to show Ameren that we have a landowner on board, other than just a hypothetical.
That's big money, we gotta pay that back.
Yeah, these generate a lot of.
No, I mean CRP.
Oh, CRP, right.
If you
We had to
pay
pay
all
back
that
3 years back.
That's-
But just for like that portion, but still 3 years back, yeah, it's a decent amount. But the landowner wants it because they're getting more for bang for their buck with this, but yeah, it's more money we have to pay back.
So is this the average, 800?
Yep.
Are you negotiating leases like this in the county other than us, besides us?
Oh yeah, I've been Carlisle, East St. Louis, commented.
No, he's saying
Oh,
in our county.
in the county. I've been talking to a landowner north here by the other substation. He's somewhat interested. He's kind of getting cold feet, and then I'm going to Sheldon next, which is still Iroquois.
Right.
Trying to think where else. After that, I'm going to Paris. Is Paris still?
No.
Okay, so I'm all.
We're big, but not that big.
Yeah, we have 3 land guys, so we're just dividing up. And what I do is I usually, every other week I'll just go on the road for a couple days. But yeah, there's a lot of interest for this.
So then you can also let us know once you drive
There's
by
like 6
the
projects.
other parcel that we were talking
Yeah,
about.
I'll follow up with you tomorrow, Amanda, and let you know if we have another option too. Because we can make both work, or if you just want that one, or just this one, or
Right.
it's whatever.
Right.
Jim Devine's office,
Oh, yeah.
815-432-6980.
Okay.
I would, yeah, because if you're.
Because if we can get that ball rolling too, while you guys still
Yeah, have
mull it
your attorney
over.
call him, and that'll
Yeah.
help. Sorry, Jim. Do we need a motion to, I mean, we don't need to like formally request Jim to look at it,
No.
right? I mean, because
I mean, at this point,
that's his
I
job.
don't, at this point, we don't have anything to have a motion on,
No,
really.
we just need his,
Let's see if you have some cards too.
his
Share with Jim.
verbal,
Right, we need him to,
so that
Check
next
it out.
meeting we can say yea or nay to the lease.
right.
And if he needs to come back down for June 2nd, we can do that too. I can have more of my team. I did this send me out as like the first
Yeah.
initial.
The ground breaker.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, if the attorneys can work out the
Uh-huh.
verbiage on it, we can, discuss it
Sure.
next month.
Okay,
I was just here to make sure you have a site and you guys do have a
Yeah.
project if you want it.
okay.
We heard all the pros, what's the cons? What's the bad side of it?
Gotta be honest, I guess, well, financing too with these things. So what we do is, your checks will be coming from a bank. We partner with the bank. Banks buy these projects from us, and we'll do this in a development term too. They get money on each, it's called renewable energy credit. Each unit of electricity generated, they get a little percentage. So the banks don't know much about solar. They're just there for the long-term investment. So the only thing, like I said, once this is financed, we got building permits, signed lease, and it's ready for construction, you're going to have a project for 20, 30, however long you guys choose. The only thing that might happen is it might fall out during the development term. We can't get a building permit for some reason, which I don't envision. the interconnection study doesn't pass, which may happen, small percentage right now, environmental's gonna check out. And we get financing, it's just the financiers, the banks, they also need to show, we need to show them building permit, lease, interconnection study. Because they're not gonna buy a project that's got potential for fallout, so it's really just interconnection study. And I guess another,
So we'd have to sign the lease before you find all that out.
right, yeah.
So then,
And then, so what happens is,
so then it failed, then what?
then we walk away, and you still get your development term, but nothing happens to the land. It's just like nothing happened, but you get a smaller than, obviously you want
Like
it,
an option,
exactly, right,
so we
yeah.
get, and that's 15.
It's just like a little, 1,500, just some money for us to like hold onto the land for a little bit until we know that we can like construct it.
Now, you said banks are buying these,
Right.
so we're not actually going to be,
We stay on the project as like maintenance and upkeep, because again, the banks don't know much, they just
The
cash
bank
flow.
money.
They have more cash flow
it's
than us.
just a matter of, okay, who are we actually dealing with? Will the project be sold like some of these wind farms have been, and then you're dealing with somebody totally different?
Right, so there is in the lease, you can reassign the lease, but that goes both ways. So if you guys were to sell the property, the rent goes to someone else. Some landowners do that because you can sell that parcel for a lot more money if it's generating revenue. But then again, so we can reassign it, so if a bank buys it from another bank. But obviously you're notified and we send out, notifications, so you know where your check's coming from. It won't be coming from us, we're the developer, we're in it for the long haul, but we
Yeah,
just
we
don't
sold
have the money
our
to
farm
keep paying you,
ground,
right?
we're not selling
Yeah,
the farm
no,
ground.
but I mean, the lease, they're just selling
It's like
the
a
lease
mortgage.
from the
Yeah,
bank to
like
bank.
mortgage.
Right.
It's like a mortgage when the
Exactly.
Somebody buys your mortgage and it can switch over a million times and you don't even really know it.
Yeah,
Like,
You just
get
keep
a
it
letter
there.
in the mail.
Right.
Same servicer.
Right.
So is that a monthly payment or is that a yearly payment?
yearly, that's $800 per acre per year.
So there'd be
you'll
one
get it.
payment per year?
Yeah, that would be in like early January, like first of the year or something. And then you'll get, so once we start construction, you'll get the $800 per acre per year prorated for that, like if we start in summer. But then the next year, year one upfront, year two upfront, yeah. Yeah, I think right now we're at just like the lease and get the terms right for everyone.
Okay.
And then let me know if you guys decide not to move forward or whatever, but,
Jim's gotta
yeah.
work out the bus off on that, so we can send
Right.
it to the full board if the committee chooses.
I'll reach out to him tomorrow to get that going for you.
Yeah, get the attorney, get
Yep.
the state's attorney happy with it.
All right,
That's me. Thank you.
Yeah,
if there's no other
There's an
questions.
interest.
okay, yeah, sounds good. All right.
I did reach out to Stephanie Sparrows from Soul Cottage. She said that boat has passed, because the county said no, they wiped us off the list. The other company will do a relook to see, but they kind of wiped it off and they started going after other sites. So this may be our last chance.
That's the main thing, they will do a report.
He's working it right now. Stephanie is no. He said no, we moved on. So, and that was at a higher potential rent payment too. That was closer to 1,100 because of early signings. So they're starting to go down because more people are signing.
And other counties are really jumping on it.
Yeah, so if it's something
That's
you want,
That's one tower.
no, the solar phone, yeah. The first couple contracts were closer to 1,100, but, so we
As
lost.
an incentive, because nobody wants to be first.
Yeah, and so now, so if it's something that we want to do to capture it,
Well,
you gotta do it sooner. I mean,
right,
we get that because they're going that way because the capacity's filling up.
right. And
So just FYI for the
So we
committee,
should have bumped it for 1,000.
you ain't gonna get 1,000. That ship has sailed. Unless it could
Depends
go
on how
up.
bad they want it.
Well, it could go up,
Yeah,
but
but the thing is, there's so many of them that do
the
want
capacity on the
something
lines
on
are
it.
starting, the capacity and the 25% that's required by state law is getting, the closer they get to it, the least they have to pay. Because and once they hit 25%, then
Then
prices.
there's no incentive for them to do it.
So,
Well, I definitely feel like we should take it before the full board and see if everybody's on board, pending
Yeah.
all of
I
the
mean, You're
Are
gonna
there
see,
approvals
interest?
through.
you're gonna see a lot of people against taking farmland out of production.
yeah, but our finance
30
budget
acres,
is,
so, I mean,
yeah.
30 acres.
I know,
And depending on what the soil is like in those 30 acres.
That 20 is great.
and-
I know, but
Exactly.
I just know
the
our
30 is probably
finances
pretty decent,
are.
But
is it
some
gonna
on
hurt
Route
you?
1, isn't there some of that that's not so great too? I thought that
I know a couple farmers that are taking awesome farm ground out of production because they signed early, and one of them I know, because it's up in my area, 900 an acre. You know, the farmers don't have an issue taking it out because they look at profit,
and
so.
in that area where the 20 acres was, is where the airfield,
What's up to it?
right.
It would be a nice,
And
clean
well,
sweep, but
We're looking at, nobody's using that, so we're in contact with the guy that had been using that. As far as Jim can see in the will, there's no reason why that has to stay an airfield, so that could actually be cleaned up and become a part of it. Which is,
well, they don't have any kind of
I'm just concerned
written
about that
anything
so why,
about that
why
airfield.
couldn't they
do
get
they?
No.
30?
So that was just a
I
gratuitous
guess I
thing.
should ask that.
It was
They don't want,
That's
if
not
you have to
being
remove
used.
all
because
the trees,
Mrs.
they don't want to do that.
Clifton was an
'cause it's
avid
environmental.
aviator,
And
it was
The
just
benefit to
a,
these is the state's
Nice
putting
little thing
incentives
to
to
do.
put all that
Yeah.
pollinator
just
stuff in, so
Yeah.
there's, so
Complimentary.
if they
Right.
took it out, they're gonna
but
put
there's
the
nothing that
pollinator
says it
in
has to
there,
be,
which is
and,
another win
you know,
for
it's
the environment.
kinda weedy,
So they're
they
trying,
tell me.
state's
It
putting
doesn't look
incentives in there,
Yeah,
but
so,
I don't think it's been utilized in quite some
I'm just
time.
looking at our budget.
But I think that a lot of the people that were utilizing that have gotten older.
right. Well, and
So
now,
the
instead of those planes, they're doing drones,
Drones.
and you don't need an airfield for those.
No.
So, but the guy that had been using it is gonna see about getting it cleaned up.
Is that space where the trees
Right
are
here.
just south?
Right here is the airfield.
Yeah, it's right
Yeah,
there, so it's not much.
no, there's a couple acres.
Yeah.
But
Oh, that's a separate, yeah.
it's still, rather than letting it be a weed patch, if it can be incorporated in something like this,
Mhm.
I don't know any farming.
well, but it had been made into a track for the little,
Yeah,
power cars.
RC
or-
cars.
Yeah,
but the pollinator makes sense.
They used to fly out of there too, but I think most of those guys are
They're-
pushing daisies.
that's what I just said.
So we can plant
Dave
daisies there.
Kluver, Russ Carly, both those guys used to fly out of there. They just buried those two in the last month, or I haven't buried Kluver yet.
Well, we can plant some daisies there.
but, yeah, somebody had approached me about, what we were gonna do with it, so I started asking Jim. So, I haven't heard a whole lot of,
And they ran it, yeah.
so. All right.
Court,
So what's the plan then? Are we
Need
gonna
Jim,
take this to the board and just do it as a pending whatever Jim says? Or will Jim have a chance to
Well,
look it over before next Tuesday?
why
and
don't-
give
so
an
you're,
opinion?
you're trying to get a sensing, basically, is it a
Yes.
waste of time to even look at it
That's
next
what I'm
month?
asking.
I think it needs to be brought up to the board and see what people feel.
Yeah.
Maybe get a comment from Jim if he
To
can.
pursue,
Yeah.
a motion to pursue,
Right,
it's not a commitment, just to pursue it or not pursue it, would that be the right,
yeah, because then we can let him know
we
after
want,
this meeting whether or not,
okay,
if everybody else on the board says, no, we don't want to do it, then
okay,
it's time to
waste
just
of time
say.
for everybody.
Yeah.
Right,
okay, so, motion to,
Pursue microgrid energy coming to Iroquois County.
to pursue a solar development on the county farm.
and it'd
Like-
be, final approval would be at the June meeting most
Yeah.
likely, but.
Yeah, pending
Pending
state's attorney's
opinion.
opinion on the lease, and there'll be a second vote.
and he might have more options by meeting time.
Yeah.
Might be
Exactly.
2 or 3 other places he's looking at.
But at least we got it out there.
Right, right.
Well,
Yeah.
and-
Get it on the agenda.
And that might spur other companies to maybe compete if they see, oh, we are interested again, and then we can get better I just see, with our finances,
Like
that's a
a
huge,
conglomeration of them, I'm sure.
it's a huge
Well,
bump. So,
So motion to pursue solar development on the county farm pending, the state's attorney's opinion?
I don't know, we need to put that
And-
microgrid energy in there.
no,
Are we
it's
including
solar.
them or just solar development?
Solar
in case somebody
development.
else don't know?
That's good.
That way if something pops up
Somebody
between
else
now
comes
and
in.
the board meeting, you know, if they come back with their study, that other one,
Yeah,
you know.
Surely she didn't leave anything in her lease that we can.
So, are we doing this as a
yeah,
motion
does that
right
make
now?
sense?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, I'll motion that.
Then we need a second.
Second.
There's no commitment, it's just, it lets us
Just
discuss
pursue
it
it.
for a full board to hear everyone. And, yeah,
Okay,
finance can weigh in.
if it's, John, if it's on there like
Remember
that,
for finance.
do we need to pull it out for
In
some
exec
consideration for
boards.
discussion, or can it just be discussed, or?
The intent is to,
Either way, I think it was the intent to have the discussion, we
Yeah.
can do that.
Okay, I mean, that's,
Because the
I can
report
get-
itself is
Or
already.
somebody can pull it out. if they
well,
want
I
to.
can, we can change it to have it as a separate, you know, just
The
let the
report
board decide.
itself is always open to discussion
Exactly.
and questions, so I don't.
Okay,
But if you want the board to pass a motion to do that, then you make that motion now, and then that's
Yeah.
part of the report.
Yeah.
If the board doesn't want to approve that motion, then they pull it up.
exactly, that works.
all right, so we have, you got,
Motion and second.
okay. All in favor of sending that to the, or,
Do you need-
Aye, there's no money.
right, there's no money at this point, so all in favor,
Aye.
all opposed?
Should we let him know, or could you just, in case he wants to come to answer questions?
We can, do you want to send him an email saying that it'll be on the,
This way everyone can kind of hear him. Okay.
okay. Discuss waste hauling contract. It is up in July, I believe, so we need to get it on, we need to send it out for bids, so that we have them back next month to approve for July. So is there a motion to send out the waste hauling for bid?
I'll make the motion.
Okay, is there a second?
Is that a yearly one?
I believe it's
I don't think
2 or
it's a yearly
3 year
one. I don't remember
contract.
seeing it. I don't remember seeing it before.
We did a 2-year
2 year, okay.
with Boone Garden.
So should we look at a one in multiple years? If they want to do a 3-year, at least we're locked in for 3 years. Should we have them bid it both ways, or, I don't know. What do you think?
I like that, I mean, learn,
For
it's an option,
budgeting,
for
the-
budgeting, it's better,
yeah.
so, yeah.
It's a lot better
So
for
just
the budget.
1 and 3.
You could do a 1 or a 3-year. Boom Garden,
Yeah, yeah,
right.
Or Seco.
Piper City.
This is the list that I mailed.
That's why we're saying go a 1 and a 3.
Well, or do you just want to go,
Put it out for, we put it out for bids, but a 1 to 3-year contract is what we're
or
talking.
do we just want to say 3 years?
That's it.
I don't,
Yeah, but, well, I guess if we're not happy with them.
How has he been doing?
Well, I don't know. It's the same person.
Just
who
all
did it.
trash.
I mean,
Twice a week.
You know?
It's just
something new.
empty
I get here pretty early,
Rotten job.
and they're usually, they have been here 90% of the time by 6:30 in the morning. So, I think they're doing fine.
I agree with Charlie, it'd be better just a 3-year license with it.
So put that in your motion, or my
Yeah.
motion, 3-year contract.
Is there a second?
We'd have to get something in the, they did wrong in the clauses at least to get rid of it,
If we're not
whether it's
happy
1
with
year
something.
or a 3-year.
Right. That should be in there
Well,
anyway, probably.
And
Yeah, there should be some clauses that we could use.
I know they have to pass the health department inspection just like the others, because I think last year, I was talking to Terry Eyman, and of the 5 or 6 that service the county on first inspection, only one passed.
They just did it here a month or two ago.
Yeah.
Again, Terry did inspect it.
I mean, once they,
Seen it in the minutes.
I think that was a new thing, and once everybody passed it the first time, now they know what they gotta do, so I think they're all gonna be okay. So, we have a motion, we have a second? Don't have a second.
No, I'll second.
Probably need to do roll call on it.
Alt?
Yes.
Spelman?
Yes.
Johnson? McGinnis?
Yes.
Awful?
Yes.
Aaron?
Yes. Okay, claims. Everybody's seen the claims?
What do you think that's gonna cost for a welder? Got any idea? How much time he's gonna have invested?
Guessing here, $500, maybe,
How is your maintenance budget over there doing?
really,
So, shouldn't have an issue.
no, it's, yeah. Yeah, we do really good. Much better than last year.
I see, where was that on one of these papers, removal of payment 5, we didn't have to pay Trent, the last one, or what?
I think it was done twice. If you look, it's over here. Oh, no, it says snow removal, payment 505.
Okay.
It's just all together, not removal. Snow removal.
Definitely have multiple bids next year.
No salt.
They can get salt, it's gonna be a little different.
We'll just buy Chris's salt spreader.
Let's just quit salting.
Okay,
Very cool control things there.
is there a motion to pay the claims?
Salt road.
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Alt?
I abstain, I have a business interest with one of the vendors.
Spelman?
Yes.
Johnson? McGinnis?
Yes.
Awful?
Yes.
Aaron?
Yes. Is there any old business? Any new business?
I have a question. Okay, so what's the scoop on the guy that was gonna evaluate all of our expenses and see if they could save us money? Where's that? Is he the guy that was supposed to come today?
We thought he was going to.
No.
That was the other
I'm
guy.
waiting
Tom
on,
Peter.
yeah, I'm waiting on Jim to say he likes the new contract.
Okay, so it's out there. We
Yeah.
just haven't,
I'm just waiting on Jim to,
because that's been a while and
yeah,
we haven't heard anything.
I think Jim
And
has
it'll be on
trials.
the agenda just in case they,
Yeah.
you know,
That
I'd rather have it on the agenda,
Well, yeah, but
you know.
Johnson Controls,
Johnson Controls was here last
yeah,
week. Smart Lot.
so they're developing stuff for us.
Correct.
Okay.
they're all sitting out there, but they're not coming to
But
us.
I think Sherry's talking about Bob
Better,
Peter.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Not better,
yeah.
because I haven't been in contact with him
No.
for months.
No, I told him we're waiting on the state's attorney,
Okay.
so.
Because of the one
The
word on
terms, the wording of, that's for the energy audit, where
Audit,
they look at the
exactly.
bills to try to see if we were ever overcharged
We
on
need to kind
taxes,
of push that
tariffs.
again and find out what's going on with it, because
Well,
that's been sitting out
And
there.
I don't know, I
I know
mean,
Jim's been,
as
yeah,
far as the energy audit, I think, I don't know, I mean,
and he has a separate piece on, kind of like what Johnson Controls
Yeah.
does, so I
Right.
thought, okay, where's that at? So a presentation on,
Exactly.
right.
because it's two separate things.
But they're both just all hanging out there, so.
I think they're just crunching, are they, they're crunching everything.
I've been crunching a long time.
Well, there's a lot of moving part, and they gotta try to figure out,
I do know that
Johnson,
Ori Cummings from Smart Lot, we emailed, and he was kind of surprised that Johnson had already given their presentation last month. He was sort of surprised surprised that they had all their stuff thrown together that quick. So I know they are intending on returning, but
Yeah.
Okay.
maybe they're just going a little more in depth, I don't know.
Some of it's their,
Any other,
kind of interest.
well, if you want more, we'll need a motion to adjourn.
Oh, I'll move.
Is there a second?
Second.
Charlie,
Jackson.
all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? We are adjourned.